Carling Black Label, where we are empowering champion fans, not just with a voice in the game, but with representation where they previously were not represented. So it's great for us to host them here.
You know, as football fans, we come to the stadium for the football, but it's a long day. Is there more than just the football on the field?
Thomas, there's always more than just the football on the field. I think you and I had a conversation about which one would you rather go to, a FIFA World Cup final or a derby?
Yeah.
And the derby is just such a personal thing, right? It's such a vibe being at FNB, hearing the vuvuzelas, seeing everybody mixed up in the crowd. And we are going to be having that times 4, I would say, on the 12th of November, because we are opening the day early. I'm not going to steal any of my other panelists' thunder here, because we will be sharing some times with you. But on the day, we are going to be having entertainment through the roof, and it's going to include people like Costa Titch. Costa Titch is going to be at FNB on the 12th just to entertain us with some great music. It's going to be a full day affair. Anybody looking for something to look forward to, you have no further to look than this Saturday.
So no move, no need to leave the stadium. Entertainment will be here, football here, everything taken care of. And for some of us, we'll Google Costa Titch. Maybe you're too old for this. So then, there's also a little bit of work to be done by the champion coaches, champion fans on match day. And in this build-up, in the next couple of days, it's not over yet in terms of how they control this game, how they can influence how the teams play, and even the awards that come at the end of the matches.
Absolutely, Thomas, because a champion's work is never really over. What the champion fans can vote for at the moment are the starting 11s of the 4 teams. So we have AmaZulu, we've got Mamelodi Sundowns, we've got Chiefs, and we have Pirates playing in the cup this year. And fans can vote until this week, Friday, 12 o'clock this Friday. The voting closes for the starting 11s. Then, for the captains. I'm getting a look here from the side. For the captains, let's strike that from the record. So
the starting 11's been confirmed.
Starting 11's been confirmed. The fans can now vote for the captains, and on match day they can vote for man of the match. You always get some people trying to vote for man of the match before the match. That to me is
they already know.
They know. They know. And each and every one of the votes enters you into the draw to win 100,000 Rand cash.
I'm sure if you opened it today, let's say Saleng already now for Pirates fans and stuff. So, you know, there's a lot of passion, a lot of excitement to look forward to. And then when we talk ticketing, I don't know if I bring that to you, or would you like me to move over to Bertie on that?
I think our partners in stadium management are a lot more versed in the ticketing conversation. So I'll hand that over to my partner here, Bertie.
Okay, Bertie, next. State of readiness, the stadium itself. It's been working hard, you know. We had a derby here just the other day. How ready are we now for an even greater influx, even more teams?
Thomas, before I respond to that, it's obviously with a bit of sadness that we sit here as well. End of an era for the Carling Black Label Cup in its current format after 10 years, with Carling now contributing to the bigger South African football picture. And I really hope that going forward we can still work together on something new and something else, and a great journey. Yes, Thomas, we are ready as we can be. The good thing of a big event like the derby is you learn lessons that you can change and amend plans, but we are ready. There's currently, as we sit here, just over 52,000 tickets sold, taking into account the derby 2 weeks ago and the MTN8 final last week. But all the plans, final ESSBC meeting conducted yesterday, and we're ready and good to go.
Are you, in terms of readiness, worried about this rain and the pitch and how it will hold up?
Not as much as the pitch, but we are obviously worried about the rain. An event with 90,000 people, and there's rain about, you always need to have mitigating plans in place. People don't want to sit in the rain for the whole day. The good news is, and I don't know whether we can trust them, but we had a chat with the Weather Bureau this morning, and they indicate that most probably on Saturday there might be a slight chance of rain in the afternoon, but slight chance.
That word is key. Slight. So there's nothing. So essentially, we can come to the stadium comfortable in the knowledge that, it's not going to pour on our heads. All that will be pouring is goals in the net.
Hopefully so.
Can't wait for that. And you said 52,000 tickets sold already, right? So again, maybe we need to let people know. It has been a little bit new in terms of how ticketing has been done. How do they get those tickets? What is the easiest, quickest way for them to get the remaining tickets for Carling Black Label Cup?
Tickets are available on the Ticketmaster website, their platform, and remember that's a mobile ticket, a digital ticket. You can't print that ticket, but that scans at the entry points as any other ticket, quite an easy method. And then at the CompuTicket outlets, where like we always do.
Yeah.
So you can go to any ShopRite, Checkers outlet and purchase your ticket at those selling points.
And starting at 80 Rand, right?
Indeed.
Starting for 4 games.
Indeed.
I mean, Arne, that brings me right back to you, right, very quickly. Starting at 80 Rand.
Thomas, we believe in adding value, not just making Africa's most award-winning beer, but Carling never comes with an empty briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
We're not here to come and make money off of our fans. We want to give our fans something, especially for the people who've stuck with us over the last 10 years of the Carling Cup. So it's literally 10 Rand more than what we charged in 2019 for, 3.5, 4 times more entertainment. 80 Rand, Yana. It's just, you know?
But yeah, 80 Rand, yeah. And that was one game. This time around, for just 10 Rand more, 80 Rand, I'm getting 4?
3, I'd say 3.5, because I don't think anybody really wants to watch a full 90 minutes to see who comes third. So we are going to be putting the third place playoffs in a penalty shootout model. So there will be 2 semi-finals. The winner of the 2 semi-finals obviously will play the final, and the loser of the 2 semi-finals will square off in a penalty shootout. But just a caveat on those 80 Rand tickets is that they are selling out really fast. And in the last 10 years, what's the trust the trend is your friend. We've never not sold out the Carling Cup. So anybody who's still like, they're not sure, well, you better be sure by Thursday, because we're sure that it's going to sell out. So anybody looking for tickets, if you want to get someone a little something for an early Christmas, I think this is a great opportunity. So don't be disappointed. Go get your tickets soon.
Bertie, it's always a question around when I come and it's a sold out stadium. Where do I put my car? How do I, is the stadium ready in order to, for those, because there's always those who are going to want to drive, right? There are other ways, and we'll find out very shortly, but there are those guys who just want to drive here. What do they do with their vehicles?
I think maybe before I retire, we'll get to the point where people believe us to arrive early, because that's the biggest message is to arrive early. I refer to lessons learned from the previous events. So let's start off with there's ample public parking, and that parking is for free. Again, the broken record, if we say don't park where an illegal car guard directs you to, don't do that. Before the derby, I sat here and I said, since post-COVID, 2 vehicles stolen at the venue, both of them stolen not in the official parking areas, but people parking on the pavements outside. Another thing, and Kulani is here, JMPD, they've towed away 12 vehicles at the derby and at the Soweto Marathon. People parking at illegal spots. So park in the dedicated parking areas, free parking, ample security, easy access to the venue. Then, as far as public transport is concerned, I'm so happy to say that we've strengthened the relationship with specifically 3 partners. One with Uber, and they will be utilizing the transport hub, different to the derby where they just in Nasrec, they had their dedicated drop-off and pick-up point. They're now in the transport hub. So you pop over the Promenade Bridge and you'll be picked up there again. The next is a very good meeting with top 6 taxis, and you will discuss this with them later. But them partnering with the stadium on communicating traffic and transport routes to their drivers and members of their association. Drop-off point at the transport hub, and Mrs. Jolala will engage on that more in detail, but when you're leaving the venue, there's going to be a stacking point at the Soweto Highway. One of the lessons learned, first time ever, that JMPD agreed to that and said, departure, let's stack there. One direction to town, other direction to Soweto. Quick and easy. Then finally, with Gautrain, a new partner to the football scene, and Sandy as well, Sandy Roth, will communicate, or we'll discuss that with you a bit later. But one easy way to get to the venue. Take the Gautrain, you get dropped off at Park Station, hop on a bus, they bring you here in a dedicated bus lane, in a dedicated bus lane out. No stress about traffic in and around the venue, let the driver stress, and you don't even need to worry about having a beer or two. So you take the Gautrain, drop off at Park Station again, and back home. Another thing, Thomas, we're trying to evolve, and we've engaged with Waze now, and hopefully that will be in place over the weekend, where we've slotted the road closure points on Waze, because we got to realize over the past couple of events, many people don't bother about the traffic plans we put on social media because they've got their navigation device. Put in FNB Stadium and it takes them there, but you drive right into road closures then. So, and we'll communicate that in our platforms as well. Waiting for confirmation today, but those road closures pin dropped on this navigation device as well.
And you mentioned something there about being able to have a Carling Black Label on the day. Arne, that's the case. You know, football fans can drink responsibly inside Soccer City on Saturday.
Absolutely, Thomas. I think it would be remiss of us to have a Carling Black Label Cup where no one can have a Carling Black Label. So we are definitely providing ice cold Carling Black Labels to anybody who would like one. I think the asking price is 30 Rand for a 500ml can. So we're trying to keep the prices, we're trying to look after our people. You will have options as well in terms of what you'd like to drink. There will be lots of soft drinks, there will be food in the precinct. So we are catering for a full day's worth of fun in a mid-November Carling Cup, because normally it's freezing cold when you're at the cup. It feels like it feels today, right? It feels like today we're getting the old cup out of our systems, just because we're going to be having, and I'm putting this into the universe, a warm and sunny Saturday where everybody can enjoy a Carling Black Label and do that responsibly. Remember, guys, that the most fun you can have are the moments that you can then actually remember, where you don't lose your stuff, where you don't end up in a ditch somewhere. So come on. You know, we're all here to enjoy a great day of football. Let's enjoy our beers responsibly, and we'll make sure that the queuing times are short and that the beer is cold.
And you know, Bertie, that brings me to you, because it's one of those things where you're at a stadium, you're going to be here from 8 o'clock in the morning. If I listen to Bertie and I say I'm going to get here early, you know, until reasonably late in the evening. And there's that question of, how do I pay for things? You know, do I need to bring a whole lot of cash with me? How am I going to be able to, you know, get what Arne is talking about? And maybe even feel like, you know, I don't need cash.
We're excited to announce that as well. With FNB as a naming rights partner of the venue, we had a discussion for the best part of 5 months now. And on Saturday, for the first time, we will have a cashless option as well, a point of sales, where you can utilize your card to pay for. We understand that we can't move to cashless in totality, so there will be a hybrid model where there will be still allowance for a cash purchase and a cash payment, but also this add-on to the venue, and we're very excited to roll that out even further in the weeks and months coming, to include the informal traders and the mamas to this project as well.
All right, that's amazing. Great. Prof. Schloss, again, it comes down to the football side of things, right? That's really why everybody's here. So from a football perspective, kickoff times, having 4 teams here, ordinarily, you know, only 2 change rooms are used. How is it going logistically in terms of the football side of things from the PSL perspective for Carling Black Label Cup?
We moved all the Carling Black Label bottles out of the change rooms. Okay, so That's the start. After listening to Arne and Bertie, I think they've summed up the overall situation. But really, this is a soccer spectacular. And why I say that is because it's like voting in an election. People are voting for the players that they want in the teams. And it's going to be, I think, very interesting to see the composition of the 25 players. Each team is allowed a squad of 25. And who's going to be in that 25? And it's going to change as the voting goes by because there's some injuries. We've got some injuries we know on Saturday. Who knows, we may be getting some more injuries during training and things like that. But we're going to have to keep the public informed all the time as to what is going on in each club. So 24 hours a day, they will be able to communicate and see how the team squads are going. Maybe they'll go and buy a few more callings to get their favourite player in. We'll see. I don't know if you can cope with the volume, by the way. And I think all in all, we're in for a fantastic spectacular with the entertainment, the football, and the novelty of a penalty shootout. Now, we're going to open the gates, and I'm just double checking on this. We're opening the gates at 8 o'clock for the spectators. 7. It's been a change in my program.
I saw that. 7 o'clock.
And we have a first game kicking off between Sundowns and Amazulu at 9:30. And that could go into penalties, and we would then have a penalty shootout, and the winners of that game go into the final. The team that loses books its place for a shootout for 3rd and 4th place. And then at 12 o'clock, we have Chiefs playing Orlando Pirates. Another derby. And that's going to be interesting. And the winners of that game automatically go into the final. The losers of that game go into the penalty shootout. So the penalty shootout will take place plus and minus 3:30. It's all dependent on whether there's extra time in the first game and the second game. So at about 3:30, we will have a penalty shootout. Now the interesting thing here is that the clubs have to name 11 people in their squad who can take penalties. So you have your team that plays in the first game, you get knocked out, you then choose for the 3rd and 4th spot another team, maybe, or you keep your same squad, and those players have to be named. And the winners there of that 3rd and 4th spot will get a bronze medal. So they will be recognised for their achievement, and it is an achievement because the pressures on the players, you can imagine. Let's assume the first game goes into penalties, and then you come back later, having won the first game, having to go into another penalty shootout. And the nerves and the tension are going to be hell of a great. They're going to need a few calling black labels then to keep them going. But all in all, there's razzmatazz for the whole day. During those periods when there's no game, there's entertainment. And that will keep everybody entertained, enjoying themselves, and hopefully going home in a joyous mood.
You know,
This is a fantastic occasion for everybody to get together. 4 different teams, the most popular 4 teams in the country based on the voting.
yeah,
I think this is important, that we as a league had nothing to do with it, Carling had nothing to do with it. This was purely based on voting, and those are the teams that came out.
Prof, when it comes to accommodating those 4 popular teams, traditionally, I think most people think, you know, there's 2 change rooms down there. How does it go? How those teams are going to be here the whole day?
We do have additional change rooms. We have another 4 change rooms and a sort of basement, and we can accommodate them. And these are the old change rooms where teams used to change. Let me give you an example. In the olden Charity Cup, olden days when we ran the Charity Cup, all 4 teams used to change in those change rooms. So we're utilising those change rooms, which have been upgraded to a very high standard, and are virtually on a par with the change rooms upstairs. So there's no major difference between change room 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Okay.
And we've allocated parking spaces for their buses close to their change rooms for teams 3 and 4, plus their kit vehicles, etc. So all of this logistics have been put in hand to accommodate all the 4 teams. Not easy, but all 4 have been accommodated.
Thank you, Prof. Last thing, Arne, I'm going to give you the final word here because Prof set it up so nicely when he talks about the competitive nature of the football that will be being played out there. It's not friendlies, right? There is quite a lot in terms of not only pride at stake, but actual cash money.
There's always some cash money at the end. The winning team wins nothing less than R1 million. And if that's not something to play for, then I don't know. Everybody on the whole 16 teams of the PSL have been paid for their participation, for just putting their names in the hat, and all the teams who win on match day will win some money for their exploits. So yeah, no, that's definitely something that we're looking for, and I think the competitiveness in the teams at the moment, right? We have so many winners in there, right? We've got Chiefs coming off a win in a derby. We've got the Buccaneers who just won their first trophy in a while. Right, we've got AmaZulu who are on the up, and we've got Sundowns who are just a class act no matter where you put them. So you've got 4 winning teams, and there can only be 1 winner. So this is going to be an epic struggle of football. I think this is going to be one for the books.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Can I add one point? And I think we need to stress this, and Bertie mentioned it. We need to appeal to the public to come early, especially in view of the fact that we have a 9:30 kickoff and a 12 o'clock kickoff. Come early, avoid the congestion. Take into account that, as I said, 9:30 kickoff and a 12 o'clock kickoff. And if you don't realise that, you're going to be stuck in traffic.
Thank you, Prof. Schloss. Thank you
Thomas,
very much.
Thomas, now you need to give him a last chance.
Last chance.
A last chance. One thing, I sat here 2 weeks ago and I said you were expecting 10,000 fake tickets. I was off by 2,500. We had 7,500 fake tickets attempting to get into the venue.
Sure.
Please don't do that. There's been 12 charges laid. People that tried to sell tickets at the venue as well. So please, there's no tickets available to purchase at the venue. If you buy a ticket at the venue, it's a fake ticket. If you don't buy on the 2 platforms, so don't expose yourself to that. Please, we've got with the police and the ticketing service provider, we're going to catch those people out. Thanks, Thomas.
And to maintain the fact that we want everybody to have a safe and enjoyable experience, we will not be allowing pass-outs. So we will not be allowing people to enter and exit the precinct. It becomes very hard to manage numbers, to manage tickets, to manage all that kind of thing. So come in with the mindset of this is a full day experience, right? Wear some comfy shoes, right? Bring yourself a hat, and come have fun, man. Jesus, the Carling Cup. Avulekile amasango.
For the way in. Let's see, Kia. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We appreciate the state of readiness. As they depart the stage.